Frank Herbert's universe of Dune explores a future in which mankind has rid itself of all forms of artificial intelligence. With this lack of advanced computing technology, several unique machines were developed to support the Imperium's infrastructure and to ensure its growth and prosperity. The most common small transport vessels found in Dune are the bizarre flying machines called Ornithopters, or Thopters for short. In this video, I'd like to discuss the design and history of this unique vehicle, how it is used in Frank Herbert's Duniverse, as well as its appearances across the various Dune adaptations. In Dune, the author describes ornithopters as aircraft capable of sustained wing-beat flight in the manner of birds, with the craft taking off primarily through the beat of their wings, with jet power assisting in propulsion and stabilization. The wings themselves are made of delicate metal interleavings. They are adjustable in length either manually or through a retractor bar. Typically, the wings are shortened when more jet thrust is used or when the vessel uses the jet boost alternative mode of takeoff. The wings are capable of being tipped to brake in order to bring the craft to a skidding stop. While they are capable of space travel over short distances, ornithopters are mostly flown within planetary atmospheres. These crafts are versatile with many iterations, being used for both passenger and light cargo transportation between cities and continents. Typically, a standard ornithopter is able to carry 6 passengers, or 9 if the back seats were removed. Other transport vessels found in Dune function much the same as a standard ornithopter, such as carryalls, which are much larger winged vessels that are generally used to transport spice harvesters from one area to another. Often, ornithopters are equipped with weaponry and are used for military purposes. Typically, these vessels are equipped with lasguns, which are continuous wave laser projector weapons that rely on replaceable cell cartridges as a power source. The firing pattern of a lasgun is typically a constant narrow beam. However, the nozzle could also be adjusted to alter the beam's width and spread. Thopters can also carry small missiles and repeating mala pistols, which are weapons possessing a spring-loaded mechanism used to fire poison darts. As Holtzman shields began to be employed, lasguns were used less frequently due to the volatile and often violent nuclear reaction caused by contact between a lasgun beam and a shield. However, on Arrakis, shields were rarely ever used in the open desert, as they emit a frequency that would drive any nearby sandworms into a violent frenzy. Because of this, the ornithopters located on Arrakis are less frequently equipped with shields. After the Atreides arrive on Arrakis, taking over the spice harvesting operations, it is noted that only 1 in 30 of the operational ornithopters are shielded. It was also highlighted that the shield generators may have been discarded to reduce the vessel's weight, enabling greater range. In the Dune Encyclopedia, it was detailed that the first ornithopters were built in 7585 BG, which was before the Spacing Guild's monopoly on space travel. The original ornithopter was designed by a team of scientists who were being held as political prisoners tasked to earn their continued well-being by inventing useful devices which would make a profit for the Emperor. Initially, ornithopters faced considerable resistance since the piloting of these vessels varied greatly from that of any fixed-wing craft. Until 7520 BG, the Imperial Pilots Guild also resisted these crafts with their refusal to admit members on the basis of ornithopter flight time, and many star systems also refused to permit ornithopters in their use as anything other than for sport or commuter vehicles. After the Butlerian Jihad, a war which saw the end of much of the universe's complex machinery, the ornithopter, with its simpler and effective design, became the favored mode of airborne transportation among the various planets of the Imperium. In the encyclopedia, which at the time of its release was approved by Frank Herbert but is no longer considered canon, an interesting element was incorporated into the design of the ornithopter. Namely, this was the incorporation of a domesticated, specially bred heart scallop, which had its shell carefully trimmed and was installed at the wing junctures of the craft. The continual bellows action of the scallop are converted into usable power as it is connected to a series of levers, rods, and electrical leads with one connection to the nerve centers, which when engaged causes it to increase its pulsation rate based on the intensity of the current. This connection is typically only used when the pilot wishes to brake rapidly or wishes to take off from a constricted site. Another connection is used to shock the scallop into dormancy, enabling the craft to operate in a jet-assisted fixed-wing flight mode. Whenever the power to the heart scallop is disconnected, it immediately resumes pulsing, which provides the craft a certain amount of fail-safe capacity. These scallops need very little maintenance, and as such in the Dune Encyclopedia canon, the efficiency of the Ornithopter's mollusk engine stands out among most other designs due to its easy maintenance, longevity, and zero fuel requirements. The maintenance of this mollusk consisted of periodically trimming it to keep it within the constraints of its installation pod. Since the creature treats the wing and body of the ornithopter as its own shell, the connections between itself and the craft are quite durable. The primary maintenance issues associated with ornithopters stem from the ball and socket located at the wing gears and joints. Structural problems typically would arise from the transition from bird-like flight, requiring flexible wings, to fixed-wing flight, which requires rigid structures. David Lynch's 1984 Dune film adaptation features ornithopters possessing small, folding, non-flapping wings. Though it is never mentioned in the film itself, the propulsion for these vessels was provided by means of an anti-gravity device called an ether bender. This device is visible on the undersurface of the ornithopter. In the 2000 Sci-Fi Channel Dune miniseries, these crafts have wings that appear to incorporate tilt-rotor technology, generating lift and propulsion by means of powered rotors installed inside of its adjustable wings. For many fans of Frank Herbert's Dune, these designs fell short of how they imagined these ornithopters to look and function when reading the book. In the novel, an ornithopter is described as humming softly on standby, like a somnolent insect. With that description in mind, I personally was thrilled to see the design of the ornithopters in Denis Villeneuve's Dune film, which feature flapping wings, mimicking the movements of dragonflies or hummingbirds. Even after getting just a glimpse of these vessels, they look to be what I consider the most faithful film representation of ornithopters to date. One significant event in Frank Herbert's first book involving the ornithopters serves as one of the most memorable scenes to come out of the various adaptations of Dune. This is after the Atreides' arrival on Arrakis, as they journey into the open desert guided by Dr. Liet Kynes in order to inspect the spice harvesting operations. During this trip, Duke Leto Atreides skillfully pilots an ornithopter as a mighty sandworm attacks a harvester, forcing their workers to evacuate and escape onto the various aircraft available. This scene gives us our first up-close glimpse of the monstrous sandworm and demonstrates the maneuverability of these nimble vessels as they escape the beast's assault. But I'm curious to know what you think of the ornithopters. Is there a particular design that you prefer? Or perhaps a style that you imagine when thinking about these unique ships? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.